The Oregon Ducks found a way last night in Lubbock, Texas. Road environment, kind of a sneaky spot. Found a way to get it done. Final score, Oregon 38, Texas Tech 30. This is one of those games where if Oregon's going to accomplish what they want to accomplish, which is winning the Pac-12 and making the college football playoff, obviously it doesn't have conference implications, but just in terms of finding out what they're made of, this was a spot I was really curious to see them in. Passed that test. Check that box. Whatever you want to say, Oregon got it done. Let's unpack it a little bit. Really quickly, though, make sure you subscribe right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We talk college football every single day. Oregon Duck fans, had a lot of y'all join us now in the past couple of weeks. If you haven't yet joined the party and subscribed, hey, no time like the present now. Things are getting rolling here. Really good schedule here for Oregon. A little later bit in the year. Go ahead and lock in. We'd love to have you here. All right. So, like I mentioned, this was one of those games where you find out what you have under the hood pretty quick because Oregon, handled business against Portland State. Texas Tech, however, coming off a loss to Wyoming. Texas Tech kind of had that game won, then they didn't, then they lost it, so all that's to say, this was definitely a spot where you had a Texas Tech team that was motivated, that was playing at home, that got the crowd into it pretty early, and it was one of those games too where They had a little bit of extra motivation. Tyler Shuck, we talked about it during the week. We said they're going to score points because Tyler Shuck, one, is a good quarterback. Also, it's personal for him. He was at Oregon to start his career. He was a Duck at one point. You don't think maybe there's a little bit extra, little oomph for him in that game? A little bit extra edge for him in that game? That's tough to deal with. And Oregon, to their credit, definitely dealt with it and made sure that they forced some turnovers. So good for Oregon getting it done. One of those games, too, where you had to go score for score. The thing that I was so encouraged by, if I'm an Oregon Duck fan, is you were able to, on the road, find a way to score points and match an offense that was taking every shot at you possible. Zach Kittley, I think, is a head coach just waiting to happen, the OC for Texas Tech. And Oregon didn't flinch. Just kept matching scores, kept finding a way. And the thing here, too, they leaned on their best player. In situations like this, where it's a little bit of a weird situation, like Oregon going to Lubbock, Texas. You don't hear that too often after you just played Portland State. Just kind of a weird situation as a whole for the Ducks. They leaned on their best player in Bo Nix, and he answered the call. Was he perfect? No. But he did more than enough to get it done. He had some help, obviously, but he threw the ball 44 times. They put the ball in Bo Nix's hands and said, hey, Bo, you're our guy. You're our leader. We're going to lean on you. Let's go get it done. And he had a gritty performance, 32 of 44, 2 touchdowns, was ultimately the catalyst behind that operation. And you heard Dan Lanning in the postgame talk about Bo Nix being a great human, being a ball player. It's very, very evident. If you didn't already know, and if you're watching this video, I'm sure you already do know this, but Bo Nix is the heart and soul of that football team. He is the batteries that make that whole system go. And he made it happen in a spot where you needed some grit. Needed that extra edge. And yesterday, too, it wasn't a thing where it was one side of the ball doing their job and the other side just didn't show up. It was potluck style for Oregon yesterday. Everybody brought something to the table. It was situational. And whenever you needed the other side to pick the other up, they answered in elite fashion. Hey, we got to go score for score here. We got to score 30 plus. No problem. We got it. Let's do it. Offense, we're back on the field. Let's go get it. Hey, we need to stop here, defense. No problem. Turnover, touchdown to really put the game away. Bad beat if you had Texas Tech plus 6.5. So all that's to say, man, wasn't perfect, but both sides of the ball played complementary enough to get it done. And I think for Oregon, when you look down the rest of their schedule and who they have to play, and they're going to play USC, and they're going to play Washington and all that, if I'm an Oregon fan, I love the fact that my team got tested on the road, raucous environment, weird situation in week 2. You didn't really probably have this one circled 10 years ago. But in this game, you got into a little bit of a street fight. And so when Oregon walks into a street fight against USC or against Washington or any number of teams down the road, they're going to be better for it because they've been in that foxhole before and saw the live bullets in Lubbock, Texas, and found a way to get it done. There's going to be a little bit more of a steady hand there within that team because of the fact that they got it done in that situation. Not going to be that deer in the headlights. Going to be very much so a, hey, we've been here before. Let's execute. Let's go do what we've done before. Let's go win this football game. So Oregon, again, taking care of business on the road, leaned on Bo Nix. Both sides of the ball found ways to make plays when they needed to make plays. And Dan Lanning and company, they got a program now. Got a program out there in Eugene, Oregon. And something tells me they're going to be a factor here in, at the very least, this Pac-12 title race, but maybe even so, that college football playoff race. So definitely make sure you're subscribed here. We'll talk a lot about the Ducks, talk a lot about all things college football. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.